Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to my new workshop. I would show you all around, but currently everything is everywhere. What I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start reinvigorating. Is that the word? I don't know. I'm going to start working on my racing car again because it's about time I got it finished and actually went to play with it. Absolutely nothing to do with the motivation of going to a hill climb at the weekend and actually watching everybody else enjoying their cars. So I'm going to give you a quick update on where we are with the car, what parts we have, what parts we don't have, and I'm just going to do some time-lapse type stuff of me building it. So this is where we're at. Spares. These are for little 106, it's just out of shot, you can't see. You have so many bits for the car now. There's Peugeot spares behind there, but that's not relevant. So when I got home from Gersten down the weekend, I started building the front end up again. So I was like, right, let's get the. I've got some lovely Gucci Coney dampers that are from a BAR of the early 2000s that I picked up from Steve Miles. Hopefully he's watching. Hi, Steve. They're slightly longer than original spec. So I stood here thinking to myself, oh, well, I'm going to have to make some slightly longer elbows or arms for my rockers to fit the dampers. They need to go about 5mm further out. I was like, oh, okay, so I'll get those laser cut. So I started looking on that, took one of these off, started measuring it, started drawing it. And then, so I did that. And then I looked at my fuel system. It's like, well, I need these AN fittings. Turns out I need about 12 to 15 AN fittings for the back there to make it all look nice and Gucci. Because when I first started running this car, because I have run the engine before, which is sat on the desk over there. I have run it before, and it was all very basic. Tube rammed on, Jubilee clip. And I thought to myself, do you know what, that is fine. Like, for me to go and actually do something with this thing, it just needs to work. So these lovely dampers are lovely. But do you know what? I've got these Avos that also will work, and all it needs to do is work, so I can go and play with the car. So, and these fit an absolute treat. And so I'm just going to do that. I'm going to build this up the way it was when it arrived here, which was on its wheels. Essentially, we're just waiting for some driveline parts. So we're going to build this back up in original spec, and these will simply come later. I'll do a nice little close-up shot of these now because they are lovely bits of kit. So here are what are XF1 two-way Coney adjustable dampers. Absolutely lovely bits of kit, and here's a rear that I got off Steve Miles. The reason I went for these when he offered them were because these have been revalved to his car, which is a Van Diemen RF98. Basically, a very, very similar idea to what I've got. Same weight, similar downforce levels in theory. Obviously, his car's significantly more developed than my car. But that is why I went for these. But these are even longer because they're rears. But these fit perfectly on the back of the car, but these don't fit. As you can see, they foul. So these need to come out. But again, like I just said, a job for a later date. Something else we've been up to over the last month or so is these bars have gone in. So this is what the rear end attaches to, which is what you would call it would be like your gearbox, but the diff sits in it on that little bit of rear end. So previously the car was sat about 40mm too low and it wasn't square. So I squared it all up with a laser, fitted these bars. This will take a lot of adjusting yet because there's a chain that will run here. So this needs all joining in up here and I slot for a chain to run through. And then the chain will run from here to the back of the diff because it's directly in the centre. And here's our rear frame. Dampers sit at the back there. This hasn't really changed. This was what I was making in my last video, which was about 5 years ago. This is the rear frame. The differential sits in the middle there, output cups. So what we were waiting for to complete this really was a set of drive shafts. Which I'll show you in a sec, because we finally have some drive shafts. Sad times. So I'm not going to fit any preload to these just yet, because probably months away from actually banging a setup on this car. To be honest, I've just decided to F it. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on YouTube anymore. Just need to get in it and drive it. Building this thing, 2014 I bought the chassis. Oh, it's so depressing. So I just need to get in it and drive it. That's what we're gonna give it a go, attempt to do. Got to try and remember which way up I put these. So 2 dampers, 2 springs. These springs are 700 kilos. Nowhere near enough for a bit of downforce, but to get the thing actually moving, these are absolutely fine. Do this every time. Spacers. Top hats. I wish I was listening to music. I don't know, maybe YouTube have changed the rules. Maybe you are allowed to listen to put music on your videos. Well, I mean, it's not like I'm monetized, is it? Not like I'm making any money doing this. They're a bit bigger than I remember. Top hats are different. Got different sizes on here. So, for those of you who don't actually know, lots of people will know in the comments. Not in the comments, watching. Almost everything has a top hat. They're like misalignment spacers, different thicknesses. You never just put a bolt through an eye end of a wishbone, of a damper. You use a top hat spacer or just a little spacer like these to space them out. Because then if you have like a massive incident or like a touch from anybody or anything like that, the spacer is what you change, not the entire damper. Fairly sure that'll be pretty obvious to everybody. These are annoyingly different sizes. Problem is, when I last put this front end together, probably about 4 years ago, 5 years ago maybe, there's a picture on Instagram somewhere. That was pre me being in motorsport, which means that I was an idiot. There's lots of little things on this car that I need to rectify because I had no idea what I was doing at the time. Some people will comment that I don't know what I'm doing now either. Okay, off. But yes, so some of the features, we'll call them, don't make any sense. Again, look, so in the rocker here, you have a small top hat that goes in here. So you damage the top hat, you change the top hat, rather than the whole rocker piece, whatever you call that. The only problem is that these little top hats, if you speak to Miguel, who built this car, Miguel is now owned by Ligier, and I've worked with Ligier quite a lot. These top hats are probably as expensive as these rockers. I'm not cynical at all, I promise. So that's one. And I remember when I last fitted these, the damping adjuster was fitted on the inside. Useless for me if I ever wanted to make a setup change. Not that I was, because I've never driven it. Anybody who is fairly new to this or fancies giving it a go, when you've got top hats that are from something very specific, they fall out. Like, you'll spend 5 minutes trying to push the buggers in and then they'll fall out on you. So, again, everybody in the comment, anyone that's watching that does this knows this, and it's probably, I'm going to get so much abuse for doing this, but I honestly don't care. Yeah, stick a small zip tie through the eye end with your top hats in, and you'll never Unless the zip tie breaks, that would suck. That does happen. But look, they ain't going nowhere. A job we're definitely going to have to tackle is these. These have had the same seals in them since I bought the car, 2014. There's absolutely no way they are absolutely done for. But actually these days, these Girlings, which is what they are, you could just about say that, oh, it's mirrored because I don't know if my phone's going to adjust it. You can just buy it. So what I'll do is I'm just going to get these off at some point, not gone yet. Get these off, fit some new ones, and then just rebuild those as spares. That's the plan. Let's tighten these old girls up. Because of the era this car is, lots of it is Imperial, lots of it is metric. Very helpful. Actually, quite a lot of cars these days. Most of the French prototypes have all gone pretty much metric. The Duquesne LMP3 car has got lots of NASPHALTs on it, which is a good thing in many ways. When you're setting that car up, it's lovely. Normally when you go on a patch and then come off it, you'll have different numbers, but with the Duquesne, you pretty much get the same thing unless you hit something hard. But yeah, so this is of an era where most of the car was still in its Triumph mini sort of pattern, what do you call it, dimensions. So the uprights are all around the Triumph upright, because they used to just steal uprights off old cars, British cars, and put them on their Formula Fords, and then it just sort of stuck. So this is very much the same as that. And then around, I think they did, this is the 01 car. The 02 car was a bit of a bag of crap. And then I think from 03 onwards is when they started introducing a lot more metric. But all of my cleverest points are all Imperial. Lovely uprights, and yeah, so exciting. So that's those done. I think that'll do for today. What I'll do is I'm just going to edit this one up. Nice. That's ideal, isn't it? Need a grub screw for that. I think that'll do for that video. Now we've got the dampers on, I'm going to continue fitting the corners on the front there, and I'm going to make an effort to get the engine back in, possibly the next video. The next video will be the front corners, getting those fitted, plumbed up, and then I'll start working on the rear end, and those can be obviously videos in the future. I would like to say, this is old Nielsen team kit. I should have put a bit of tape over this really, but I obviously do not represent anything. All of my views are nothing to do with Nielsen Racing. I don't know if this counts as a thing, or I'm going to have to take the video down. We'll find out when I get told off for it. But yeah, that'll do for today. I have bought some drive shafts. I've just offered them up and they don't fit, so I'm not including that in the video. So I have to go back. This is the thing with project cars, when you make something from scratch, things have to fit. They don't always fit. It's very frustrating. One of the reasons, it's a very small reason, and most of the reason is laziness and motivation. This car's taken this long. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I'll leave all my links below for all my social media stuff and my website. Please check out the JPR owner test days. It's a new scheme I'm doing with Ben Casely, driver coach. Have a little look at that. And yeah, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one.